All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer. Today we're going to talk about awareness. All right. I only have a few minutes, and so I wanted to wait until I was parked. And there's a little dog next to me. Like, that's so cute. It's a big dog. I don't know if it'll show itself, but awareness is everything. I was listening to Eckhart Tolle. We had this live follow-up class. It was live for us, but they showed us this clip. And he wrote a book called The Power of Now. And I also saw LaToya today in a live that she did yesterday. And these are just two people that I watch. I'm just in awareness. When you're awareness, this is what Eckhart talked about. First, be present. I'm looking at, there's a tree across there. And I just watch the wind in the trees, in the leaves. When you're in awareness, egotism can't dominate. And so you want to be in awareness all the time because your egotism is, so this is what my filter took from those two different people that I got to interact with. And then I got to interact with a live group of people. We did a breakout room. Is LaToya, this woman named LaToya Okio, was going over Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, you need food, shelter, clothing, all these things that we seek after. And she was bringing up how Christ said, you know, seek first the kingdom of God. Forget all those things. You know, the verse before, I sing it to little kids, you know, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, because we sometimes learn better in songs. And all these things shall be added unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And if you go see my video about Yah, you know, it's the feminine part of God. Yahweh is feminine, masculine together in one word. The I am. It's so amazing. There's so much depth to that word. If you study, you know, ancient Torah, rabbi teachings, or mystic Hebrew people, or I've studied all of this stuff. I love it. I love it. And so, but if we seek first, he's saying the verses before, don't worry about your clothes or the food. You know, the people, the pagans run after such things. You know, if you think of the pagan people back in those days, the people that were just that made all of their own idols. Okay, so think of the concept of that, right? Understand the depth of the mystery. What I speak about is just so deep and profound, but I make it sound so simple, and I look like an idiot to people. And I don't mind looking like an idiot to people, but you just don't understand. Like, it's funny because I wasn't holding in high importance the stuff that I'm teaching. In a way, I wasn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I know that it's gold. And so go back in my old videos, any of them, all of them. Because what you're doing when you're creating your own idols is you're building up this dependence on form. And this is what Eckhart Tolle was talking about. When you're not in awareness, you're running after, like, here's the example he gave. And I'll tie it together with Maslow's he gave this example of when you're in a group of people and they're gossiping and you don't want to be gossiping, but part of you like wants to put in your 2 cents. I love what he said. I was like, I have to remember that. I'm going to set my phone down so it's steady. He said, it's seductive, you know, it's appealing. It wants you to be drawn in. You want to like, you know, join in the thing, in the conversation. And if my kids are arguing about something or there's people around with politics and it's like you feel compelled to give your opinion, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't, like he said, what he quoted the Buddha of saying something like, don't be so enamored with your opinions. You can have opinions, but don't be so attached to your opinions. Have awareness at the same time. You know, I was just going to get my cross and my heart. Always, right? And Eckhart teaches this too. There's this part I was contemplating. I got this vision this past weekend. I was at this all-day seminar thing, but where this part is longer than this part, you know, and don't be offended by any religious symbol, but what I always welcome all religions, because like I believe that the divine love creator created all of us and loves us and wants all of us to come to knowledge of truth, deeper truth in our lives. So look, this part is longer on most crosses, but it's like be rooted in the ground, grounded, and this part of you up in heaven always, so that we can always interact in life in a balanced way. This is balanced. And then go back to the oneness. The oneness is the divine love, God, from which we all came. So as we live our life, you know, if we take up, Jesus said, take up your cross daily, you know, and follow him. And so it's like, die every day. When you die every day, it's like 90 degrees today. When you die every day, then you're letting go of your insistence on how this world has to operate. You're letting go of all your opinions that you're so enamored with. You are letting go of being lost in form, which form is just part of this reality that we're living in. You are a soul in form, in a physical body. And so to get hooked in and tied up in just the physical leaves you vulnerable, leaves you defenseless, because you're hooked into something less than. If I'm looking for an idol and I make an idol, then this thing is less than the divine from which I come. If I seek first the divine, then I have things in order. Then everything else is just secondary. All these things shall be added to you. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, C.S. Lewis said, you must put first things first, and then you can get second things and third things. When you put second things first, you don't get the first things either. Because if I'm spending all my life and I'm like, sorry kids, I'm not going to spend time with you. I have to make sure we have food on the table, and running after, making my job my idol, and making money my idol. And it's the love of money that's the root of all evil, not money itself. When you put money and making money and trying to secure all these things, it's kind of like what Eckhart was saying, is like you have a problem and it seems like the biggest problem in the world, but once you take care of that problem, there's another problem and another problem and another problem. When I saw my life shift, here, let me get my heart too, is when I got lost in Montreal. Well, actually, this one Italian guy was telling me about the Ignatian Center in Montreal, and I was just asking. I got myself in a lot of hot water spiritually, because I was going down rabbit holes way too deep that I was not meant to go down to. And so anyway, I just got lost, but I ended up going to this Ignatian Center that I had got references for by multiple people, so I knew they were vetted by people that I loved, and I had always use your own discernment, because these are just vessels. And I was matched with a spiritual director, and she's like, okay, so you meditate an hour every day. I'm like, what? And so she told me what to meditate on, and It was just like you're entering in. St. Ignatius says you enter into a passage with Christ and you talk to him, or just use all your senses, see yourself as one of the disciples. I'm not recommending just doing it willy-nilly, but all I'm saying is when I was committed to doing that, time shifted in my reality, and the time always opened up for that hour to be there. And if you just think of practicing bringing that depth in your life, this was like 6 years ago now, or more, maybe more. 8 years ago was when I started this one class that I've been in for 8 years. Anyway, when you make a commitment to seek first the kingdom of God and righteousness, the right way of being, which is just aligned with a divine love, with the most loving way to be towards yourself and other people, then time shifts. And it's really weird because you experience time different than you did before. And these things that held so much importance to you don't hold so much importance. And so you're not pulled in by all this drama here and there of stupid things that you thought were so important. I wish you love. I'll talk more soon.